Yes? Okay, great. All right. I'm getting all sorts of messages. I just saw one from Anita Matt, and now I'm looking at Tim's message and Jeff. Oh my gosh. Are we just going to like a barrage coming in? I hope so. So greetings to everyone. And I'm really sorry I couldn't be with you today, but you all know where my heart is, and my heart is out there with you all sitting around those tables and, you know, seeing each other again and really learning what IAC has been doing for the last year or so. I have to tell you that Lexi's broken foot comment got me. Those of you who have known me, and you know I've been coming to IAC for over 2 decades, probably 25 years now. One time I came with a broken foot. One time I came with a broken ankle. One time, and if Josiah is in the audience, he knows I actually left with a broken arm. So I'm constantly breaking something. And I think it was so appropriate for me to hear those words this morning because I feel like I'm just constantly working with you all to help create something new and out of something that in the past has been broken, but I'm not seeing it broken right now. Shout out to all my friends at IAC. You all are family also. You know who you are. I had to stay back because we're trying really hard to get a whole new set of cooperative agreements out the door very quickly. The secretary sends his greetings, but I'll share with you that I had a visit with him yesterday, and he is all about urgency. He's all about us at USDA leaning in and being fearless and getting things moving as quickly as possible. And that's why I stayed back, because I have figured out that I cannot do things well if I try to do too many things at once. So I just wanted to share with you that there's a lot of things happening at USDA right now. You all know how thrilled I am that Zach Ducheneau is the administrator of FSA. That is incredible. And he is brilliant, and we're so lucky to have him at USDA. And we all have to look at each other and thank each other for him being willing to step into that leadership role. Because I can tell you, USDA, we need him now here, and his brilliant mind and his open heart. And I'm just thankful to work alongside him, along with so many other folks. There's a lot going on right now where the CARES Act funding happened, the American Rescue Plan funding has happened, the infrastructure bill was just passed, and we literally are waiting with bated breath on the Build Back Better bill. And I'm really hopeful that it passes, because I don't have to tell any of you all in the room how important all of those things are. The work that was built into the American Rescue Plan, the work that's going to be coming out of the infrastructure bill, but also the work in front of us with the Build Back Better bill. We need them all. And we all saw how important our food systems were and still are. And we always knew that. But I suppose ever so often we have to have a broken foot. We actually have to be reminded about how important farmers and ranchers are to our survival, and how important food systems are to our survival. And it's very interesting. Last week, I was able to just drive across the state lines and hook up with the Undersecretary for Marketing and Regulatory Programs, Jenny Moffitt. You all would love her. But we went to the grand opening of the Muskogee Creek Nation's new processing plant. And then we also drove up the highway a little bit and checked in with the Osage Nation's processing plant. I was just so impressed, but I was also so thankful that I was able to see those plants. And both of those plants were built in record time, and they are incredible. And if you ever have a chance to go see them, you must. They're impressive. It's amazing what has been done to build those plants up in such a short amount of time, and the impact and the difference they're already making. I know this is something that we can replicate across Indian country. We can be the leaders in building a new supply chain for our food producers, but we also know that we can do important work in regenerative agriculture and so many other issues. Recently, the Tribal Nations Summit was restarted by this administration, and I was honored to participate in that. But what actually came out of that is a whole nother set of memorandums of understanding, relationships that we're going to work to improve between departments. And myself, I'm reaching out to other departments to strengthen USDA's relationship with them, because we've got to do a better job of bridging the complexities of 2 different or 3 different departments. There are other folks out there with you this week that can share with you a little bit more about the MOUs and the secretarial orders, but they were all focused on very important underpinnings that are all going to impact our communities, but also your work every day as farmers and ranchers and people who care about the land. And so I won't go into them in a lot of detail. I just wanted you to kind of make reference to them, because we're going to be building those out and strengthening relationships that can sit up under Indigenous knowledge around our lands and waters and what we do every day. But USDA, I wanted to share with you, the person I'm very thankful is in the Office of General Counsel with me. Some of you may have run across him in your travels, is David Grawn. David Grawn is the principal deputy to me. He's the other side of my brain. He knows so much about this department. And when I was here before in the Office of Tribal Relations, I depended on him because he was very creative and he really tried to make things better for us. And before I even got here, I was still going into confirmation process and hearings and all that. And that was a little onerous. So, if any of you actually ever want to do that, I'll be happy to help you through. But he actually pulled together an Indian law working group in the Office of General Counsel. We have never had that before. And many of you actually know Blake Jackson. He is Choctaw. He actually worked at the Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative, but he left there and came up to USDA and has a role as one of our lawyers in the Office of General Counsel. Brand new on the block, and David tapped him to lead our Indian Law Working Group within the Office of General Counsel. And we have drawn lawyers from each one of our divisions. We have divisions all over the country, and they are looking at literally every single law that USDA has to administer. And we're figuring out the fixes and the changes and the re-examinations of policies that need to happen so that Native farmers and ranchers, tribal governments, everyone in our communities can literally have a deeper and more important relationship with USDA. We can not go back to the place we were before. So I just wanted to do a shout out to Blake because he's really been carrying a load as a brand new lawyer in our offices, but I'm already seeing the fruit of his labor with lawyers from across our Office of General Counsel. Shout out to Carrie Jo and Kelsey and the whole team at IC. We were really happy to be able to announce right before, I think it was November 23rd, to publicly announce that Intertribal Ag Council is going to be the recipient of one of 20 new cooperative agreements that are going to be much longer in length and more robust in how we approach doing technical assistance on USDA programs, but also just what our farmers and ranchers need every day. And so we're really excited about that. I'm actually meeting with two of the other organizations on Zoom tonight and tomorrow night. But congratulations to Intertribal Ag Council for being one of our 20 cooperative agreement holders that we're just getting those out the door right now. And Carrie Jo's going to come and get me if we don't move quicker. So anyway, I just wanted to also tell you all that my husband Mitch says hello to everybody. We would be out there with you if we could. Being with you is one of the most important things we do every year, but we can't be out there every year. And so he says hello. And I'm gonna also kind of do a special shout out to our young people. I actually was sitting with the secretary yesterday and he was talking about the importance of the next generation of producers that we have. And I know that, and I know that IC and so many of our organizations that sit up around and support our young people as they become the leaders of tomorrow. We need them. We need them. Y'all all know that. And I just want to do a special shout out to them and just hang in there and keep growing and keep leading because it's important that you're there. So I'm just going to, Carrie Jo, leave it at that. I just wanted to say hello and give everybody a big hug and let you know that I'm doing the work here to support your work there. And as long as I'm in this chair, I'm going to give it my all. And but no more broken feet. No, we need to actually have all of our appendages about us because we got important work ahead. Anyway, much love to everyone.
Thank you so much, Janie. Janie, we have a couple of questions.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We had a couple of questions that came in online.
Wait a minute, before you start asking questions, you did a pan out to the audience and I think I saw my friend Sarah Vogel. So
yes, you sure did.
I just saw her, and
she's right there.
And she's right there. I see her in her red jacket. You all have to read her book. She's
seriously, huh?
I mean, that she and I have special stories to tell in relation to the Keith Siegel case, and you know, I learned most of everything that I know from her, and I don't get too many opportunities to express to her how much she means to me and how much she has guided me in my work. And you all have a true friend in Sarah, and you know what she's given to our communities. So special shout out to her.
You're not supposed to make me cry, Janie.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. Look, I would not have come back to USDA if I did not know that there were so many important things we need to be doing. And so it means a lot to me to be able to sit next to the secretary and actually do this important work. It's not about me. It's never been about me. It's been about you. And so we got work to do, and I need y'all praying for us and working with us every single step of the way. And James McEwen, I see you somewhere out there.
Great. Janie, if we can start with our first question, as far as, doing our part, what can we do as tribal community members? What can we do to help you in your position?
Never stop talking to me. That's the worst part, I think, Carrie Jo, about being in a role like this is, you get loaded up with meetings, every single 30 minutes, 15 hours a day. And that's about my schedule. I'm actually realizing I'm a little bit older than I was when I was here before. And so I'm trying to pace myself, but it's easy to just not reach out and touch us. And we need that. And David and I talk about that all the time, how important it is for us to hear from farmers and from ranchers and from landowners and from folks who are out there doing it. And, if you saw my confirmation hearing, I tried to impress upon the folks I was trying to get past because they had to vote me out of committee, how I tend to see the world through the eyes of a farmer and a rancher. But it's really important for us to hear from you. Whenever we can all get moving around again fully, then come up and see me. Invite me out to where you are. I'll do my best to try to be there. It's hard, though, to actually get out of the office because you're just covered up with meetings. Zach can tell you that. Just give us patience and grace and pray for us, but we need to hear from you. We need to ground truth what we're doing with you, and that's really vital, and that's very easy to now do. We can Zoom each other every month if you wanted to, every couple of weeks, and I offer that up all the time. And I just saw Roxana sent me something. And so I'm getting barraged right now with texts from everybody. But that's the critical thing, Carrie Jo. We got to talk to each other. We got to ground truth. If you see us going off in some crazy way, then just tell us, stop it, go this way. Because it's really easy to get lost in all the morass of it all. But that open line and using the tools that we now have gotten into a habit of using, and let's keep it up.
Thank you for that. That's a really good reminder. And I believe you, Janie. I emailed Janie not long ago and asked her a question that I thought was, irrelevant. And I said, who should I ask? And she said, me. Okay, perfect. So our next
irrelevant.
So the next question I have a total of 3 questions to ask. The next one is, we'd like to see more thoughtful and productive efforts put into the federally recognized tribal extension program. What can we do to request this?
Well, when I was up here before, we tried year after year to increase the amount of money in that program. I really think one of the strongest things you can do is to elevate your voices. And I think, Carrie Jo, you all talked about the Native Farm Bill Coalition. That's an important way to do that. But, for so many years, it's not been lost on me that program is so significantly underfunded. And we actually need, when Keeps Eagle was just settled, I remember being in Tulsa at a meeting, and I can't even remember what meeting it was. And I several farmers and ranchers came up to me and I said, what is the number one thing that you need besides equipment? Because everybody needs equipment, right? Yep. And they said, we need technical support. We need extension services. We need people to talk with us, And so that to me just reads FERTAP and our ability, like the technical support that you provide through IAC, but nobody can do it all. We're scattered all over the country. We farm and ranch on millions of acres of land. We just got a lot of unmet needs in that space. And I think the most important thing you all can do is to express that out loud and make it public and be specific. I mean, they're going to ask you, if you sit down and talk to a congressman, they're going to ask you, what exactly is it that you need? You need to have an answer. So, that's the really important thing, and make sure that we know at USDA what your needs are and how you feel about that program and how it should grow and the details of it. So the more, the better in terms of where you stand on it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So our last question that we have for you, Janie, are why are cooperative agreements important?
Oh my God. Because cooperative agreements are really, I think they're an underutilized tool to me, because as a legal instrument, cooperative agreements actually mean that you are in concert with us, right? You're in collaboration with us, as opposed to, sometimes when you apply for or get a grant, you just get the grant and go do your stuff and check back in once a year. A cooperative agreement, you're like this. You're constantly talking to each other. USDA is substantially involved on the ground with you. And that's why I think that these cooperative agreements are so important. And the more we have of them, the better, because we're at a place where there's too much time lost between us. I hope that makes sense. When we just operate separately, there's so much going on. And there's so much going on in just the regular everyday farming and ranching. The work that, Zach wants to do on creating a different way that Farm Service Agency actually interfaces on lending with producers. That's really important. It's not going to happen overnight, but we've got to keep working on it. But the technical support and the wraparound assistance that all farmers and ranchers need is better done when you're working like this. And that, to me, I don't know how else to explain cooperative agreements as a different way of doing things, but we've got to use more of them, and we've got to be in concert with each other.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Janie. Utilizing the work of our brothers and sisters as models to replicate is super important. The Indigenous knowledge that we need to utilize, the communication, those are all heard loud and clear, and the importance of our agreements and that we work collectively together. That's so important. And thank you so much for that. So I appreciate your time. I wish you were here. It seems weird to say thank you, sweet, see you later. I was hoping to have a cup of coffee with you.
Well, we will. And
we will.
I'll be out again at some point. And I just care so much about all of you all. I'm really excited to be with you in this new role. But I'm happy to answer any other questions you have, or just folks know how to reach me. It's janie.hipp@usda.gov. It's very simple. And anybody, just email. I'm here. And thank you all so much for supporting me and supporting me in this role. But thank you for supporting Zach and supporting so many other folks who we really need as a part of this team to do amazing things. So we're going to keep trudging along, and holler if you need us, and help us solve problems while we're here, so that we can all get on down the road better together.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much, Janie. Have a great rest of your day.